Hey guys, today we got a lot of news today. We got a lot of stuff going on in the Philippines today. I went to the mall today and the place was fully loaded of people waiting to get vaccinated today. More so than what I've usually seen. We had chairs all over the place in the mall. Okay, in fact, some people were told to come back at 4 o'clock. I think today is going to be a big day. I think we're going to beat that 650,000 vaccinated in one day. If it's like this in the other malls all throughout the country, I think we're going to easily beat that 650,000. In fact, I think we're going to beat it by quite a lot today. But I'm not, I don't quote me, but that's what I think is going to happen, and I hope that happens so we can get by all this stuff. But I also want to talk about the variant, okay? Now, the variant here, this is what's going on. The variant is starting to spread around here. We're starting to see it in the local towns around here, but it's not in Tracy as of last I heard, okay? In Tracy, we're still free of it, but it's driving people out to get vaccinated. Now, with this variant coming around here, we have that lockdown up in Manila, which people have said is going to cause 166,000 more people go deep into deeper poverty and stay there. And they said 400,000 people would be out of jobs, either permanently or temporarily. Okay, so that's what's happening with Manila. Remember, Manila is one of the most populous cities in the world. It's one of them. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. There's a lot of people up in Manila. But anyway, with the variant going around here, they're talking about really big lockdowns here. More of the old type, where every other day you can go out, and one day you got to stay in. They don't want you going around town. They don't want you going over to your friend's house. They don't want you traveling around much. The only travel is going to be like to go get food, things like that. That's probably what's going to happen again. That's what I'm seeing, because the lockdowns up in Manila, that's exactly what's happening. And they started the lockdowns up in Manila a little bit early. They were supposed to start them on the 6th, okay? And I went up there the other day, and they had already started them in the malls where you could only get takeout. So it was a little bit rough while I was up there. It was a little bit different. We had to order. I went to Texas Roadhouse. I was going to get a steak dinner. I ended up getting 3 cheeseburgers for me, my girlfriend, and the driver. And they wouldn't let us eat there, so we had to go eat outside. In fact, the guards were ready to jump on top of us. I mean, we asked for some rolls and peanuts, because Texas Roadhouse is known for their rolls and peanuts. And the lady said, "Oh, yeah, sure, I'll get you some right now." So I was sitting at the table and I was eating a roll while I'm waiting for my food. And I could tell that guard it was a woman guard. She was ready to pounce on me, to yell at me about eating that food. But I had already chowed it before she got to me. So she kind of like hung around watching me and watching me and watching me. So I started watching her, like, say, "Hey, you want to say something? Say it. Just come over and say it. Don't be afraid." You're sitting there waiting, okay? I'm just having a roll. There was other people there that were eating too. Nobody just told us that we couldn't, so I didn't know if we could or we couldn't. So I ate. I ate a roll. But there's a lot of craziness that's going on, because it's really weird. Because here's the funny part about the whole thing, okay? I know you can eat in the mall, okay? Because I can go up to Dairy Queen, right? I can order a sundae and walk around the mall with my mask down and my shield up, and a guard won't say one thing to me while I'm eating my ice cream. But if I eat a roll, they'll say something to you. Really weird. Think about that for a second, okay? And then here's the other thing. They tell you you're not allowed to videotape or snap pictures in the mall. But they have a thing up near the vaccinated people, and you can pose in front of it, and it says, "I was vaccinated." And it's a big thing where you can, people are waiting to get their pictures taken, and they're doing videos with their families, doing TikTok stuff and stuff like that. And the guard will not say one thing to those people. But the second I try to videotape, they'll jump up down my throat. It's just kind of strange, So it's okay for some people, but it's not okay for others, So if you go to Dairy Queen, you can eat all the Dairy Queen you want, but you can't have a roll at the Texas Roadhouse, So just remember that, guys. But anyway, that variant is definitely causing a mess here. But I think it's causing everybody to go out, get their vaccines. That's a good thing. We also got this China mess going on here. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that for a couple minutes. And here's what's going on with China. China's really mouthing off a little bit with ships that are coming through here. I guess they just tried out a Patriot missile, test fired one off a ship or something like that, and the UK was doing something. They were basically told off by China, telling them that they better be careful or something like that. And Japan's been told that they were going to be nuked by China or something like that if they're not careful. And I think China needs to be careful, to be honest with you. You know, with all they had the biggest Navy group here since like World War II, I believe, the other day go through here, and from different countries with the U.S. and you know, the UK, and I'm not sure who else was with them, but it was a big carrier group and like fleet of Navy vessels going through here, and China, I guess, didn't like it. They got a little bit ticked off about that. I do think there's going to be something going on with Taiwan. I think China is going to be dumb enough to make a move on Taiwan. I really believe something's going to happen with that. I think at some point they're going to say, all right, let's go do it. And they're probably going to do it. We're going to wake up some morning hearing all this stuff. But I think the U.S. is ready for that. They're ready to stop that. I'm sure we have submarines all over the place. And if something does happen up there, I mean, there's going to be hell to pay for that. But if we fire on their ships, you can be sure that they'll fire on a carrier. Okay, and if they fire on a carrier, God help them, because those submarines aren't going to be firing regular missiles anymore. They're going to be firing bigger missiles that go off with a bigger boom. I'll just say that, you know. But I mean, there's a lot of things to be concerned about. There is, you know, and I think the expats over here are getting a little bit worried. Some of you guys that left might be lucky to be outside the country right now. I'm hoping things calm down. I did want to talk a little bit today about visas, because I have a lot of people sending me stuff about visas, and they're getting things mixed up, okay, on this new 9A changes that they have, okay? And they're doing a modernization program in the Philippines too for visas, okay? And the tourist stamp is not really per se a visa. They let people in here, they, you know, and they stamp your thing, and you just keep on going to the BI and you get it updated. The old thing that they were talking about, I remember when I called up the embassy one time and I asked them about how can I get into the Philippines? Do I need to get a visa first? And the lady told me, she says, sir, you can put in for the 9A visa by filling out an application. She goes, but why would you do that when you're an American and you can just go and get your visa stamped upon entry and you can stay there for 36 months? She goes, just by going to the BI, you know. And I says, oh, okay, so that's what I can do. Now I ended up getting the retirement visa, and I did get my visa stamped for the tourist stamp when I came in here, and then within like a couple weeks I got my 3 weeks I had my retirement visa. Okay, so I was all set. I never had to run to BI to get anything done. But you know, people are getting those two things mixed up, because some people think, oh, so the 9A is for pleasure, so that means it's a tourist visa. No, there's a tourist visa, the 9A, and then there's the stamp, whatever you want to call it. You know, I guess some people could call it a visa in some capacity, but some people don't like to call it a visa because they say it's a non-visa entry or something like that. So I'm not really up on these 9A visas or any of that stuff, you know, but I do believe that a lot of people are getting confused on this. And there is no news out there saying that they're going to stop this 36-month thing for expats and stuff. But that's still in place as far as I know. Nothing's been changed on that. And some of these expat groups are putting out some false information, because I've read some of the stuff and it's just not totally true. And if there's some news out there that somebody can send me that's put out by the Philippine government, please send it to me, because I want to see if it's from the Philippine government. It says, hey, guess what? We removed the thing. You can't stay here for 36 months anymore. That would be a big change, you know. But until I see that in front of my eyes, I don't think it's true, you know. And I think some of the vloggers out there are getting things confused too. And you know, some people are. I had one vlogger talk to me the other day and telling me, "Hey, Steve, what do you know about this here?" And I says, "What I know about that is the 9A visa and what these people are talking about are two different birds, and they're getting it confused." Okay, So don't shoot the messenger. I don't know that much about what's going on with that. I'm just telling you what my thoughts on that, okay? So my thoughts are that I think people are getting confused, okay? And I do think we got some changes coming, down from the top soon. I think we got green lane things coming. I think a lot of stuff is going to start changing over the coming 6 months. And we're going to see some of those changes, whether it will affect, tourists coming in here and stuff like that. I don't think so. I think the Philippines wants to keep that in place because it was such a good thing and it worked out so well for them before. The sad part is, like I said, most people used it as kind of a residency thing. And guys, don't use it as a residency thing. Get your SRRV retirement visas. A lot of you guys are talking about, well, I don't want to put $10,000 in their bank account. I don't trust the Philippines, or I don't want to put $20,000 because there's $10,000 and there's 20, and then there's also the one for veterans, which is only $1,500. Okay, don't worry about it, guys, because you can use it for leases, for long-term leases too. You can use it for a lease on a house, for land, what have you. But you can take that money out and you can use it for that. If you're going to be living here, you're going to be leasing, renting, things like that. Just make it a long-term lease or whatever. Once you find the house of your dreams and you're all set to roll, start using that money. But also remember, guys, that's good to have that money sitting there too. If you leave and you have to go back to the United States, you got $10,000 or $20,000 to fall back on. Think of it that way too, and don't worry about the Philippine government ripping you off or something like that, because it's not going to happen. And I keep hearing people stating that. The PRA is probably one of the best departments in the Philippine government. They really are. I've gone on trips with those people with the PRA. They went up to Bataan. They went with us. I really enjoyed my trip with those people. They're great people. These people aren't going to steal your money. It's in a bank. It's in a bank. Okay, it's in BDO Bank or whatever bank they so tell you that they want it in. That's the bank it's going to be in. Mine was in BDO Bank. So just be aware, guys. Use your head. They're not going to steal your money from you. Okay, and I know people are very tight with their money and they're always worried about their money here, like they're going to lose their money to the Philippine government. It's not going to happen, guys. Don't worry about it. Okay, so especially with a safe bank like BDO or something like that, no concerns. Seriously, you don't have to worry. And if you are worried, like I said, put it in there, use it for your lease. And you can also use it to buy a condo. Keep that in mind. Because you can buy a condo if you want to have something that you can call yours. Buy a condo here. Buy a condo. They have some cheaper condos here. Buy a cheap condo. They have studio condos, they have 1-bedroom condos, they have 2-bedroom condos. Buy a condo. You'll be all set. But anyway, guys, I just want to put that out there. Just a few things to talk about and chat about today. Biggest thing I'm worried about right now is what the variant changes are going to bring about. I'm not so worried about a tourist visa change. I don't think that that's going to happen. The 9A, like I said, is different. And even that's the only changes in the 9A is that I think you're going to have to show that you have the money to survive here or something like that, which is a good change. So that's a good thing. And there might be a couple of other minor changes. There's also some other visa changes on some of the other visas, but it's all minimal. It's all modernization. It's a modernization program for the visa process. Okay, guys? And that's a good thing for the Philippines to do something like that because they've really needed it for a long time. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care.